You're listening to Media Monitor's Conversations That Can, a special series that we're dropping just this summer. Thanks for tuning in to Media Monitor's Conversations That Can. You're about to listen to our Chief Product Officer, Steve Silvers, interview Jonathan Anastas from Rumble.
Hey, welcome to Media Monitor from Cannes. I'm Steve Silvers, the Chief Product Officer at Guideline, and with me is Jonathan Anastas from Rumble. Jonathan, how's your Cannes going so far?
I'm about 12 hours in. I landed yesterday, no big delays. I went to the opening night at the Chirac House, which is at this beautiful estate up in the hills, and I'm always happy to be here in the south of France.
You can't complain, can you? No. So Jonathan, you guys at Rumble, you guys just announced acquisition of Northern Data. Tell me about that acquisition and how you guys are thinking about it.
Sure. So in reference to the acquisition of Northern Data, we recently announced the closing of the deal plus a rebrand. Rumble is going to become Rum Inc., sort of the holding company, of which we're now going to run two business units. Rumble, our traditional video business and all the ancillaries out of that, the advertising platform, the non-custodial wallet platform, and the Northern Data offering in connection with Rumble Cloud is going to become Quake AI. And the big strategic shift behind that is really to start to think of a world in where AI makes human creativity actually the most important thing, right? That you think about what AI can do and what AI can't do. That sort of the power of human creativity becomes the most important resource in the world. And the way we're thinking about the world is think about a world where creators become enterprises, where the Quake AI offering becomes the machine that allows them to build agentic enterprises and AI-driven businesses. And that Rumble, the video platform, becomes the last piece of the flywheel. That's marketing, that's sales, that's your customer base. So to think about those two pieces together about or how we're looking at the world in the future.
There's been a lot of conversations already. We've only been here a day. A lot of conversations already about how AI is going to augment human creativity. Obviously, up to date, Rumble has been a video business, now moving to AI as well. How do you guys see those things working together? And how do you see using AI to augment versus replace human creativity?
So I think it's never going to replace human creativity. I think it is going to be an augmentation. It's going to help sort of scale things and build things and add speed. But the sort of out of the box thinking that creates the great shifts are not going to be created by AI. AI sort of works within the rails of which it's trained and is often those outlying ideas, right, to become the most powerful things. So we're looking at the combination of AI and video in two ways. As I noted earlier, we're looking at Quake AI driving the building of tools and agentically driven enterprises that allow, in essence, our creators to become agentic Mr. Beasts, right? They can launch hundreds, thousands, millions of businesses using agents. And secondarily, the video platform then, as I noted, becomes the flywheel. It becomes distribution. It becomes marketing. It becomes sales. It's the customer. And that creates a flywheel. The second piece is, as widely quoted, the LLMs have learned about all they can from words. You know, there's a famous quote of the now ex-head of AI from Facebook, which is, an LLM has seen less video than the average 4-year-old, and a 4-year-old's not very smart, right? Sort of the classic pull quote. So people like Rumble that disproportionately own and control huge terabytes of video platform data becomes training data for where the LLMs need to go. If you're building drones, video game engines, robotics, video is going to be what's going to train the AI in the future. So I think that's a whole second layer beyond the vision of like powering human creativity, where we own a trove of data that's now more important than the words that have trained the LLMs to date.
I think that makes sense. You know, I read a metric recently that about 51 or 49% of all the text content on the internet is now AI driven. Was just under 50%, and that it had flattened out, where we had all were afraid when the LLMs came out that it was going to overwhelm. It was going to be almost 100% AI generated. Now, obviously on the video side, we've seen little bits and pieces of AI generated video, but it hasn't started dominating the space yet. So there's a huge opportunity here, I think, to with the content to train models so that we get more good AI generated content that actually connects with humans. Obviously, some people are comfortable with that and some people are not comfortable with that. Like, how do you feel about AI generated content? And do you think it's the future, or do you think there's a watch out, or is there a balance?
I think there's going to be a balance, like a lot of things. I am neither, an AI super optimist or an AI doomer. I've been through a whole bunch of technology disruption cycles as a marketer and as a business person. And, did CGI replace human filmmaking? No, right? And I think it becomes like that. Like, we just came through an electoral cycle in Los Angeles where AI was really powerful for an outsider candidate. And I think he leveraged AI in a very powerful way, which is like compressing the time of production and compressing the cost of production, where he was able to, I've never seen somebody be able to respond in advertising to like a news cycle so quickly, right? Where like for the first time you could see a 90-second AI generated spot at super high production value that answered literally an opponent's quote from 12 hours ago, right? Super powerful. But there was an idea behind all that messaging that AI didn't create, right? A human created the idea. A human created what the response was going to be, and AI enabled quality, speed, cost compression.
I mean, that makes sense. Like, why would you show up to a competitive political race like that and tie one arm behind your back and not use AI tools if they were available, right? But you're still having human ideas and you're using the AI to amplify those ideas. So you don't think that, you think people that are prohibiting themselves from using these tools are disadvantaging themselves?
I think anybody that is didactically prohibiting themselves from these tools are making the same mistake that we've seen every time. I get into a number. I used to be a musician, and I think the digital disruption in music has been super powerful. And I often debate older musicians who think streaming ruined music. I think streaming democratized music, right? Like, we can talk about the discovery challenges of 100,000 songs being released a day. But as somebody who came from like alternative music, the idea that there's no gatekeeper, that there's zero cost of distribution, like, musicians should be thanking whatever power brought it here, that you can press a button and have potential reach of up to 1 billion people for basically free. And if you don't view AI the same way, you're in deep trouble for a couple of reasons. Genies aren't going to go back in bottles, for starters, right? Like, streaming's never going to go away. AI is not going to go away. There's not going to be a global ban on AI. There wasn't a global ban on Bitcoin. And B, if you're not leveraging those tools, you are simply going to be left behind. And another music analog I'm going to make to that is I really ascribe the rise of hip hop along with the fall of rock to a genre that leaned into technology like disruption, and a genre that fought technology disruption. And because hip hop was like, oh, we're going back to a single cycle. Oh, like, I need to be out there as much as possible. Oh, I'm going to own streaming the way they used to own free mixtapes on the street, where rock was resistant. That's the case study for AI. Like, the categories, the people that are truly resistant, there's no way to keep up. There just isn't.
I mean, I think that makes sense, just to follow that metaphor. When they invented the drum machine, it's not like there aren't drummers now. Like, there's still good drummers, but drum machines unlocked a whole new set of musical genres like EDM that we would not have had if we didn't have the drum machine. So you could obviously embrace it or not.
Right. And I'm going to take that even further, which is also it made live drummers, or great live drummers, even more important. Like, the great irony is now hip hop has gone back to like drummers on stage.
Right.
Right. Over a genre that never had drummers on stage. And so I think that goes back to where we started, which is human creativity, and the value and the power of human creativity is not going to vanish. This is just another tool to unlock it. This is just another tool to accelerate it.
I think that makes sense. And I think human connection is also a really important part of what we do in advertising. And while you can use AI to augment that connection, you still need to have it for it to be a successful creative piece, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's funny. We're recording this in the south of France at Cannes.
Yeah.
It seems more crowded than it has in a number of years. because human connection becomes increasingly important. I was in a VC event a few months ago, and that VC was sort of saying, because of AI, largely because of AI, if I've never met you in person, I likely won't return your email, right? Like if I haven't met you in person, I likely won't book the meeting, because I just get all these automated inbounds now, right? And so yes, AI is going to only make real human connection on a number of levels more valuable. I mean, it's a big reason why I'm here, right? Because you still have to make face-to-face connections to move things forward in the world, probably more than ever before.
Well, it's great to actually meet you in person because we connected before this on Zoom.
We did. And I didn't reach out to you with an AI-driven note.
No, and we have not AIs. AIs did not write this. We're not generated. But maybe next year we'll be AI generated. Anyway, Jonathan, thank you so much for the time. Thanks for being on the pod. And, hope to hang out with you some more.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me and I appreciate being there.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to also subscribe and listen to our Wednesday podcast, Media Monitor, where we go deep on trends, look into the data, and try to understand where the media market's going.